Bonsoir. How you doing? Good evening. I hope you're doing amazing, fabulous, regardless where you're finding yourself. Welcome to Etincelle. Etincelle, as you know, connects every single Friday. At this time, just for the moment, but we're gonna shift back to 8 p.m. very, very soon. My name is Gracia Susuzande, and next to me, I have this amazing
Young.
middle age,
I'm
the
young.
very,
I'm
very
young.
young man next to me. I'm gonna present him just after the break, so you know the deal. It's about time for you to start sharing. You know, without sharing, it's really going to be difficult to get people onto the show. So tell a friend to tell a friend. You know, share on your page, share on your stories, wherever it is. If you need to take a screenshot, do it. All right, because it's important that the discussion that we're gonna have today is probably someone is going to be touched tonight. And so I'm just gonna give you that little break, and when we come back, it's gonna be amazing. All right, stay tuned. Welcome back to Etincelle, and you know that we are ready, and I hope that you are ready too, because the subject that we're gonna be talking about, is about the world here. We're about to touch something that is, you know, things that how do I say this? The subject is something that a lot of people wonder. They really do wonder how to make it work. And I just feel like, hey, why not inviting, Junior Masadi? He is right next to me. And before we get into it, for those who have missed last week show of Etincelle, you can always catch it on my YouTube page, gracia.s sucre and we spoke about how should I say everything? No, I'm not gonna lay. But that was with this amazing young lady, and she just spoke her heart out to it. I'm probably gonna give the hint later on, but please do check the page, the YouTube, so you can find out more about the show of Etincelle. All right, he is next to me, and he is special. He's done a lot of things that has touched the world and himself as well. So tonight we want to know more about Junior Masadi, his journey, what is the sparkle that really happened in his life, and how he's really moving on. You know, that is really the subject of tonight. But it's like, how can we make the world better? All right. So please do introduce yourself.
Hi. Hi. So my name is Junior Masandi. I'm Congolese. Lived in the UK since I was 10, and I'm 31 now, so a good 21 years.
31.
31.
Girl, he's 31, guys.
Yes, I've been here for quite a while. I originally lived in Middlesbrough for a majority of my time, and the last year I moved to London. So yeah, it's been an interesting change. Spent most of my time in London under lockdown, but I am a marketing director for a marketing company. I work with Vive Congo as a marketing officer, so I look after the marketing for Revive Congo. And amongst other things, I'm also a patron for Taste of Africa up in Northeast. I'm also a trustee member for some charities, and yeah, I do tend to keep myself busy a little bit.
You are definitely busy. Oh my God. If I have to get hold of you, I'm going to have to check your secretary.
Absolutely.
Do you have one?
Wifey.
There you go. I'm going to have to check with her because it's just mad. But yeah, so welcome on Etincelle. And tonight the subject is all about, oh, definitely. It's my pleasure. As soon as I saw your profile, didn't check on the things you do. I was like, interesting. Very, very interesting. And the reason why is because as well, this subject is something like, as I said earlier, a lot of people do wonder how to really make the world a better place. That is the question of everyone. For those who really get to the place where like this world is a bit messed up. This world is a bit upside down. Situations are occurring ups and left and right. You're trying to focus a little bit, but you're still going on, and it's quite difficult. So and you've gone through some stuff. You've gone through situation as every single one of us, but and so to you, really, I want you to ask to let us know really what was your journey like. How was it with you, like growing up, like the time that you were young and now, like what is really the difference?
Yeah, of course. My early childhood was in Congo. I was, I guess, I don't know if it's lucky or unfortunate or an experience, I guess. My dad was in the military, so I was born when he was still getting himself into the military.
Oh wow!
So I lived from when he was first started in a very small small house in.
You still remember the place?
Yeah, I do remember the place.
Don't ask me because I would not know.
Okay, yeah. So basically, I remember. I can't remember what it's called off my head, but yeah. So we used to live there in a very shared like accommodation. It was very military based kind of stuff. So I remember growing up from that to then my dad being working in the presidential office with the
is it President
Mobutu, and then he worked for Kabila the father. The father. So we kind of had a bit of a nice lifestyle. So we managed to go to the president's birthday and all that kind of stuff. So I did live quite a nice lifestyle. Yeah. And then then after that, we were taken out of the country once the president was murdered. So a lot of things happened political wise. So and I arrived in the UK to a strange area where literally it was me, my stepmother. So it kind of
massive changes.
Yeah, the change was completely different. So the cold was first started. I was not used to cold. It was like watching. Have you ever seen what's the film? Cool Runnings.
Okay.
When they come out from the airport and the first time you're shivering. Yeah, I remember that. I remember we had to go to TK Maxx to go buy a big long coat. I feel
you on that one. I feel you.
Yeah, so that was a hit. And then from now me and my stepmom had a really bad, very difficult relationship. So I moved out when I was 15 years old. So from 15 years old up until I've literally had to learn to hustle by myself. So for me, that was where it was really, really difficult because me and my father didn't have the best relationship. I was estranged from my mother and I was alone. So I learned
You practically grew up somehow on your own.
Yeah,
as you say.
Literally everything for my own. I remember couch surfing quite a lot of times. So those that don't know, couch surfing is you stay with different friends every single night on the sofa.
This is mad.
Yeah, so I had to kind of get myself through that whilst putting myself through school as well. Then I got myself through college and then university and then get myself to where I got to. So it was very wide. There was so many different areas of life.
There was too many up, down.
It was up and down. There was times where I still don't understand how I got to where I am today, but
how did you manage? I mean, like we can say so much, like it's true. Like I'm sure that there were people like good enough or with a good hard attention to be able to help you, but yourself trying to pick up yourself from the background and then yourself presently mean at that time, like how did you do it?
I had some really good people that, to be honest, I had some very key people that came in the right key moments for me. Family wise, I used to play football as well when I was younger, so that kind of got me through the like networking through people. Like I did play football at quite a decent level up until like a year ago. I was playing semi-pro football as well.
Nice.
So it's kind of like football kind of opened doors for me with people. I had a really nice family that took care of me when I was 15, 16. they were really, really nice. They make sure I was okay for whilst I finished school. Then from that, I kind of had to learn to hustle, like literally. I had to
So
learn
from
to work hard.
16, like you just went. What did you do?
Got myself little jobs in clubs and bars.
Damn.
I had a little room. I remember this little room that I stayed in in
You
Middletown
basically
Centre.
had to grow fast.
Yeah, I grew up really, really fast. Became very, very streetwise, and I also live in a town where being black was also going against you as well. Ooh. So it's kind of like you fighting racism, then you fighting prejudice, and then you're also trying to find your way to survive. And then from that as well, you look at your mental health as well, because as a young person, it's like you were alone and you didn't have anybody you could fully trust. So you had to find a way to live.
This is madness. So, and then from like around that time, did you ever keep any relationship with your mom?
Me and my mom, our relationship developed a lot more as I come in towards 18, because I think I resented it a little bit for leaving me.
Of course.
Because she was my mom, and also just to kind of take it back a second, my mom is actually not my biological mother. My mom is the person that raised me. My biological mother is in Kinshasa. I met her for the very first time last year.
This is that was a twist here. A massive twist. I'm thinking, what? And then you just like...
Yeah, so my biological mother I met for the first time when I went to Congo, like last year.
When did you find out that was not your biological mom?
That also was the reason me and my stepmother had a bit of a difficult relationship, because she dropped it on me one time on an argument.
Like just a boom.
Dropped an argument, and my mind just went blank. I grew up in Middlesbrough, then we moved to Coventry. I hated Coventry because I was in year 10 going to school and everybody just wanted to fight me. I was threatened twice with getting stabbed. I had a knife pulled out on me twice. I literally, everything that could go wrong about the school.
Oh my, this is madness. Yeah.
So then I got back and we were arguing, said I wanted to go back to Middlesbrough. And I said, I said something, I wanted to speak to my mom, like, because my mom would understand. And she said, well, something along the lines as in like, but she's never your real biological mother, and that's when it hit. And then I got told the story the next day, and after that I just packed my bags and I left.
Listen. What kind of story is this? This is noodles. Like when everything is just like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. So that's where
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, that's where the relationship was array. And then I came back, and then to be fair, I had a lovely family that took me in, and their son and their daughters, all they literally looked after me as I was going through finishing school. My final year of school, and then from that I kind of You
just wanted to fly on your own.
It was some cold nights, some dark nights, some scary nights, but we got through it.
Oh wow, we got a lot in common.
You've only got an hour, so
yes.
I'm trying to be careful.
No, definitely. So like, I was just about to ask you, what was your favorite subject in school? But
sport.
Did you sport?
Sport was the one. Sports for me kept me through going, because when I played football was kind of the time where I was my happiest. Like the whole world kind of just shut off, and I would just concentrate on playing football. So sports. So even
that's
at
where
college,
your pleasure came from.
So even at college, I captained the college football team, because again I was just enjoying playing. Like it just. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
To me, it was running. I used to it's just speed. That's it. I was the fastest girl in my school, and that's all I needed is just run. Yeah. Sport was my thing as well. So you hold it into sport, and did you ever feel like becoming like a superstar in football?
That's every kid's dream, but I did not. First, I did not start early enough for me to then get into that point, and I also didn't have the opportunities to even develop myself.
Yeah.
I think there was one opportunity. I used to play for a football team called Kada at the time, and when the performance one of the coaches, I had a crazy 3 months where I just went crazy scoring lots of goals, and then they were like, okay, we can actually get you scouted. Somebody come up.
Okay, and that's good. That's a lucky thing.
I played a football game that I was not supposed to play, and I broke my leg. Yeah, the whole cliche of anybody that's actually
oh my gosh,
that happens. I broke my leg and I was out for 6 months, and after that,
that's it, done.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that had to happen for you just to leave football on the side.
No, I still play football. I took I still play football, but I had to concentrate on getting by first.
I feel like most of the people who literally played football, I mean, who loved it, the only thing that really took them out is when you break their leg.
Without your legs.
I've seen so many.
Yeah.
It's mad. So, but how would you define really the life? I would not say the world that you had back then, and compared to the world that you see right now, currently, digital here and there. How would you balance it? How would you say
it's different challenges?
Yeah.
From what I've actually learned is like the world is full of challenges, and no matter how you think, okay, we put the fire out, something else will come up. Like you
can say that twice.
Yeah, like we started last year with COVID, and everyone's thinking, okay, that's our biggest problem. And then from COVID, it went on to Black Lives Matter situation with George Floyd that we all sat at home watching. And then from that, something else would keep popping up. And then now it's Meghan Markle. There's always something fire. There's always something, which for me is kind of like you gotta learn to switch off from time to time, and that's what I've been able to do as well. Before,
how easy is it really to switch off? Because not everyone really get to switch easily.
It's one thing that I learned to like. I got to a point where it was very, very, very deep for me, like because my day-to-day life is social media. I do digital marketing, so I'm always on my phone. I'm always checking social media. Then eventually I had to learn to separate both, and then kind of switch off when you get time to switch off as well.
How did you separate both?
Just turn your phone, put your phone over
there. Because listen, in this generation, like it is so deep that every single young, including myself, we are literally on our phones. And even in the pandemic moment, where some people say they were lucky enough to, it's like they got back their children in terms of they're actually at home, but even them being at home, they're still on the phone in their room. So how to really separate them?
For me personally, is I know how fake Instagram can be sometimes. I know the level of extent that people go to take the right picture of the right lighting, the right. So I know that because I've been on the other side. So I see all the effort that goes. So which is why I've matured enough to be able to separate myself to know it's social media, and which is even on my own social media. Half the time I'm just messing around because I don't take it seriously anymore. I do not take it seriously.
Oh my god!
Unless it's very charity based or it's very I'm fighting for my cause, I'm fighting for my race and my culture. Like half the time I'm just messing around on social media.
I think that's the thing, like a lot of people do really take it serious in that level, to the point where I remember like not long ago last year I even told you know what, I'm taking it off. I literally took off for I think a month, and then someone told me, Gracie, you can't do that. You know, like you're social, like you have businesses that is on social media. You're a YouTuber. You're this. You that. You need to come back, Gracie. So I was like, damn. As soon as I come back, guess what? Someone told me, welcome back. I was like, oh, how do you know? How do you know that I left? So it's just mad. So it's I got you. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, people watch social media way too much sometimes.
That is too much. They should pay them for that. But
earn money from that.
Yeah, actually, I don't know much about that side, but I heard about it. Yeah. The same way how you get paid on YouTube, like you can get paid.
You can earn some money via.
Listen, me and you need to talk after this. You need to show me how to make money. And so, my next question is that so with your own, I mean, now that you've gone through all the situation that you've gone through, who are you today? What is this? When someone really look at you and then try to identify you, like, what would you say? Who are you now?
I'm a mother's son. That's literally the best thing I can explain to yourself. I'm my mother's son. Like, if you ever meet my mother, like the person I call mother, it's not my biological mother, but the person I call mother. Like,
you're biological.
Not my biological.
No, you're biological.
No, the person I call mother, the person I've grew up with. Yeah. Like, I'm her son because everything that's instilled in me came from her. Yeah. And she also, my sister also lives in America, and she lives with her as well, right? And our
so you have a sister?
Oh yeah, I have brothers and sisters.
Wow. So wait, how big is your family?
7, I think.
Okay.
Oh, wait, you count.
He doesn't even know.
6.
No, you have to count. Okay.
Yeah, 6.
Okay, 6.
Okay. Yeah. So I have a sister who's in America with my mom, and our personality is we literally are the same because that's because we've been instilled by the same woman.
Okay, of course.
And which is where my charity side comes from. Like she's always taught me to help, to support people, feel. At the only level I struggle with is empathy because going through what I've gone through, I kind of hardened a little bit. But apart from that, I would do anything for anyone. That's literally
That's just
me.
mad.
Yeah.
So your mother's son.
My
I
mother's
like
son.
that. I like that. So but and throughout the years and that you have gone through leaving your country, coming here and just I mean, your life was a mess. If I really have to look at it, damn, a lot of tears. I can try to imagine emotionally. But what would you say, like the key steps were for you, the ones that you hold on to be able to climb up? Like
My decisions, because I remember, for example, first decision was in school. In school, I could have went to school with the other bad boys and bad girls that I grew up around.
And you didn't.
I didn't. I made a decision to go to a college that was 20 minutes outside of town, and it would cost me a fortune to get to it.
20 minutes outside town.
Outside of town.
Okay.
I made a decision to go there because it was the best college I could go to for myself to better myself. Those key decisions is what actually made me who I am, because I could have easily, I was at points where I could have gone left or right, like in my life. I could have gone either ways. And then from even university, the decision I made to go to university, push myself in university and even graduate from university, that was all my own decisions. I had to make those decisions, those key decisions. Sometimes I made the wrong decisions, but I've learned as I grew up.
So you did end up going to university.
I went to university. I graduated.
What took you?
Let me tell you something about university, right? My mother flew from America to here, and she was at my graduation VIP from the university.
Oh my gosh.
VIP. She was sat right at the front. She was literally looked after. The university looked after me. Honestly, I gave so much this at university, because that's one university that really, I was taken care of at university, because they saw something in me and they
kept it.
They refused to let me fail. They refused.
No.
And I passed it.
Wait, what university is this? We need to let people know that that's the university you need to go to.
Tisa University.
There you go. So in case you're around that, check it. All right. So, and what was the subject that you studied?
Marketing and advertising.
Why did you pick that?
That's actually a funny story. So I did a foundation in business management, and I had to decide what I'm going to do for my top-up year. So I remember being sat in a classroom, and the teacher was talking about, right, the two departments that don't like each other is finance and marketing, because marketing just spends the money, and finance doesn't understand why marketing is spending money where they're spending it.
Okay.
So marketing and finance always clash, and I hate marketing. So I was like, do you know what? I want to spend money, be creative, because marketing, in a sense, we do spend money and be creative. But now, obviously, it's a lot more tailored on getting
a little bit more
investments. But that's what I want to go. And I wanted to be creative and think outside the box and just do things differently.
I just feel like you're very creative, because the pictures that I've seen on your Instagram page, well, you know, pink hair, blonde hair. I mean, you just want to explore. You remind me a little bit of me, you know, and I just feel like it's beautiful. So, but coming to really the world that we live in, I just feel like the person who has really explained that the most out there. That reminds me of Michael Jackson, who always feel like, you know, we need to do something about us, you know, checking the mirror, the men in the mirror, like yourself, and the happiness. And he wanted to do so much, but obviously right now he's gone. So how to really make the world a better place?
To be honest, Man in the Mirror is one of my favorite songs from Michael Jackson as well. Like,
same.
Those key words in that, it's like, if you want to make the world a better a better place, look at yourself and make that change. And I think that's where it kind of came from. Like, I will not sit here and say I've always been like a great person or whatever, because I had to go through a lot of crap to learn that what I want to be, what I don't want to be.
Yeah. And
that's where the changes came from as well. So from that, and also the way my mom's always kind of taught me to be able to give back at whatever opportunity, whether you got small or big, just always be able to give back. And also because I had the support from very key people in my life, I had a really, really good support from.
Yeah.
And a lot of people spend a lot of time kind of still be patient with me whilst I grew up. So I've always wanted to give that back to the next generation as well. And then as I grew up, I also wanted to do that within my community, which is part of why I get involved so much within the charities in Congo, and why I'm so passionate about making changes in Congo. So those kind of reasons why.
Would you call yourself humanitarian?
I do call myself humanitarian.
He is a humanitarian. Well, it's cleared up. So how would you define? Because everyone has their own definition on when it comes to humanitarian. You know, it's like humanitarian is
it's
like
not just a type.
Superman going to save the world. No, is it?
No, it's not. So for me, humanitarian is looking after people's welfare, being taking care of certain people's welfare, and also being able to make one person's day better, like regardless of what it is. Obviously, I spent a lot of times. My biggest thing I did, for example, that I got picked up quite well from, was my long walk from London to Middlesbrough, which is 250 miles in 7 days.
When you told me, I was like, oh wow.
Yeah. So those are kind of things that I love taking that challenge, because I know what got me through actually that 7 days was. There's actually video clips of across the day, and I always look
actually
back.
need to check that out.
You do. It's on my Instagram story. If you look at it's on my Instagram story, you'll be able to see it. And every single step of the way, there was times where my mom called me and I was in agony, I was in tears. I was like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Because it was painful. It was working 42 miles a day.
That's just crazy.
Painful. And
your feet must be in pain. Must have been pain.
I couldn't walk for like a week.
Oh my goodness.
I was on crutches for a week. My doctor said to me, I still doesn't sound, I didn't fully injure myself because it was stupid. It was stupid.
It's just crazy.
Yeah. So, but what got me through is the fact is that I knew the money I was raising was going to go to orphans in Congo. It's going to help the next generation of Congo. There's children that have to do that work on a day-to-day basis to just get water. So that's what really pushed me to, you know what? Man up, you got this. You're physically fit. You can do this. So that's what kind of got me.
I mean, you eat fufu kwanga, anything. I mean, you're better than.
I wish I fufu.
No. But so who do you think, like, apart from like the children or the people you wanted to go get back to or your community, who really inspired you to be able to call yourself, or even to go into this field of humanitarian? I mean, because I see Oprah, I see Angelina Jolie. You have all these amazing people who are trying their best, like, to serve the community with their money, with their time, with their, with their care. So, who really inspired you in it?
People inspired me. Like, I can go back, for example, I always knew I wanted to do something, but then the conversation I had with Pamela and Lakeisha from Revive Congo, that phone call inspired me to then want to do more for my country. So wasn't necessarily like, oh, this person inspired me, a celebrity inspired me. For me, it was just general people that I met on a day-to-day basis.
Okay.
The people that this Auntie Shade, I call her my auntie because she's is my mom here. She's a Nigerian woman, but she's another one that's done. Without her, I don't even know where I would be today. Like, she inspired me because how much time she put with you within the young people as well. Like, there's people on the day-to-day I saw are the ones that actually fully inspired me. And there's the Revive Congo guys. There's even my brother. My brother does anything for everyone. Like, honestly, he's the one person that does anything for the family, and he will do everything to bring everybody together. Like, and it's really rare to find. I mean, you can find them, but not always that easy, right? Because like, as soon as you see someone, you see their appearance first, but trying to get to see the heart is, you need to spend time and actually get there. So, how creative do you think, like, this field needs you to be to get out there? Quite creative, to be honest, because especially if you look at Congo Charity, I remember, actually not even long ago, I was on Twitter and some person went after Revive Congo, said like, the pictures that we use are fake pictures.
Pictures?
And I sat there thinking, wait.
Do you know me?
I was there. The video was literally video taken from my phone. So I know they're not fake pictures, but like, because of people have a point of view that charity steal money, especially when it comes to African charities and stuff like that. So it's kind of like being able to break through the stigma and actually educate people in that sense as well. Because part of the thing that we do, we also want to educate. It's not necessarily, oh, look at these poor children. We also want to show the good side of Congo as well. So we're kind of mixing both. So you have to kind of find a way to be creative with it.
Yeah. Because there's it's true what you just said right now. A lot of people out there, when they see Congo, when they see, probably India or wherever, it's always focusing on the really the bad side of it. Yeah. And it is really, it's crazy. Instead of really looking at the good side, they're actually looking at the bad.
Absolutely.
And so, but even in that sense, like, how strong was your motivation to wanting to make it better? I mean, because when you look at those images and you look at the life that you live in, it's definitely not compare. I mean, it's you can't compare them to. You probably definitely live a better life than that. So how was that? How strong was that motivation to try to make their life better?
Huge. And I think it got even bigger when I stepped into Congo, when I went there for the first time.
When did you go?
2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. So I was supposed to go back this year, but because of COVID, that was cancelled the year before that. It's the first time I went back in 20 years to Congo. And then I went back again in November. So I went twice in the space of a year.
Yeah.
And going to that, especially when we went to visit the orphanages as well, my heart was breaking for seeing these young children with the bright and still with the beautiful smiles on their faces, but then living in the areas and that they live in, and also not having anything, but yet they were still happy.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, in my head, I kept thinking, I spend like £30 a night just on takeaways, and that £30 could literally feed them for an entire month sometimes. And you're thinking like, it kind of makes you realize how lucky you've got it, and also how much more you can actually do with actually thinking you can do much. Like
exactly.
And I got to learn that even £5, £10 can make a big difference in a child. Like a piece of sweet, like it made the child smile.
That's just mad.
So all those kind of little things is what kind of drove me forward to be able to just want to do more. And then from that, I'm just the kind of person I love challenges as well. So I was actually supposed to bike cycles bottom of England to the top of Scotland as my next challenge, but COVID happened.
I think God knows why.
COVID was like, you're not ready for that yet.
You're staying at home. You're not going anywhere. Yeah. But so do you think that those children, the ones we want to help, you just said it right now, that somehow they live in all those circumstances, but they're happy. Do you think they're more happy than us? I mean, we live in a place where it's true, like we can walk from here, good sandals and stuff, and they have to struggle with their sandals because it's probably, it has a hole in it. But it's somehow that the happiness is bit.
I think it's different because obviously they would not know any better. They would not know how we live our lives because that's their normality. Our convincing our norm on. This is normal to us, that's normal for them as well. So I don't think they would know better, but I also believe that challenges are different for everyone. So though we maybe live here, but it doesn't necessarily mean we're happier than they are. They may be just happy because they can actually just wake up and they know what they are, and then just play games. And the biggest worry they probably have is where they can get the next food from. Where for us, it's kind of like, okay, where am I going to pay bills from? Where am I going to do this from? Where am I going to do this from? So the challenges are completely differently. But it's a difficult, complex question to answer. However, I did see those beautiful smiles when we got to see them. Though. Honestly, there's a girl that we sponsor, and honestly, I'm literally looking at every way possible for me to adopt that child. Ooh. Like I would love to adopt a child.
I remember the last time I had a conversation with someone, and then I was like, when I grow up, I will adopt a child, and that's probably gonna be Chinese. And so he looked at me and he says, is that child gonna be my grandson? I'm just like, what do you mean? Like, he's Chinese. And I was like, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Like, it's all about love. It's what you really want to, bring up into this child's life, and how you want to change this child's life.
Absolutely.
So I'm still sticking on to that one. But what was like the challenges like you have encountered in that situation as a humanitarian and in that field? So talking about emotional, talking about mental and physical state. What was it?
Not getting too attached was one.
That's impossible.
Not getting too attached was one, and also being aware that there are also some people that use that to their advantage, then also get money out of you. So being smart, because there are cons going around as well. Okay. So being able to be aware of those, and the other side of it was also fundraising enough money for them to be able to give back. As much as I'd love to give up my entire salary for the month to support, but they need more. So I need to raise more money to then be able to do more. So the other thing is kind of raising the money and kind of like knocking the same doors over and over again, say, It's me
Still,
again.
yeah. What's up?
Can I get some more money, please?
Oh my.
Yeah, so those are challenges that you kind of you face. But what I'm looking is a lot of people that do know that I do things for the right causes, and it goes to the right place, and they see the journeys all across it. So
I think it's that because a lot of people tend to ask, and you do give it to them, but they do something else with that money. So it's just really sad, actually. Unfortunately, it really does happen a lot. And I've even seen this I think there was a tsunami or something that has happened quite years ago, and celebrities like Kevin Hart and I forgot his name. They had to raise money, and then somehow they say, no, I'm not gonna give my money to this charity, but I don't mind giving it to this charity. So it's like they choose which kind of charity. What about you? Like, did you also have to choose kind of like places where you had to kind of work in or go into, like, to do your work?
Yeah, so regarding to obviously Revive Congo, we went the first time we took.
Why Revive Congo, actually?
It was funny that I got involved with Revive Congo because it was my brother that actually messaged me and said, I know you want to do things in Congo. He met Lakeisha and Pam in an event in London, and now at the time I live in Middlesbrough, and said like they're great. They're looking for marketing, for someone to help develop the marketing at the time, because they were looking at ways to develop the brand and everything else. So I was like, okay, cool. Let me have a conversation with them. We jumped on a call and we just clicked. Like, just from the very first moment I spoke to them, like it kind of for me, it just felt right. Something about it felt completely right. And then I agreed. We worked with them, and it's been 3 years, three and a half years now since I worked with Revive Congo.
Actually, I've seen some pictures of you guys actually going to Congo. Yeah, that was amazing. That was really amazing. Honestly, pictures.
It was phenomenal. It was one of the funniest 2 weeks we ever had. But we gained so much out of it. Yes. It was my first time going back to Congo. Obviously, I've lived here. Like, you cannot go back to Congo. Congo's like, but when Mom and I arrived at the airport, I was like, I'm home. I'm home. This is home.
What about the atmosphere? How did it felt? Like you breathing in and just like...
It was stuffy air. Hot. It was warm. Sand all over the place.
Oh my goodness.
Your shoes were just like your mom.
Forget about it.
It was no longer clean. You get in the cars and there's so many potholes.
Oh,
and then we also when we went to the orphanage as well, like we got caught in the quicksand, in the sand, so we had to get pushed out by these all little kids from the...
You're like, damn, if I was in the UK, this would have never happened.
Never happened. And obviously, like, it's also, you see the sad things where you see like there's young children on the street begging. So you kind of like, you want to help, and I actually spent majority of my money was spent by just giving it to people whilst I was there.
Were you prepared enough to go on that trip?
I don't think I was. I don't think I was mentally prepared enough, or even financially prepared to go the first time around. I don't think I was ready for the reality of it.
It kind of hits you in the face.
Orphanages, because there's a video that I shared as well, and you stand there, you look at it, you're thinking, how do people live like this? How? It's surreal. I was not mentally prepared for that. There's times like I could just feel like I'm ready to cry, but I couldn't, because it's their reality, and I cannot be like that. I've got to be able to enjoy the moment with them. So that's why I enjoy the moment with them.
Oh wow!
Yeah, but
that would have hit me too. Actually, if I would have went, I don't know, probably would spend time crying and stuff, just mad. But because I've seen some video, because I suffer from epilepsy. Okay. Right, and so when I did Miss Congo and stuff, so what I wanted to give back is literally for the children in Congo who literally are suffering from epilepsy, because the one that children who are born with it, and the ones who do develop it later on. So me now having the chance to, I mean, I don't have it anymore, but I was like, wait a second, there are children back then or back there where they are still in that position, but some people who are still ignorant and not able to really see the reality or even accept the truth about that are mistreating those children. Crazy. I mean, it was mad. My heart really were thrown in part. It was just crazy. So I really can't wait myself as well to go and really see situation more like face to face.
I would absolutely ask Tico for you to just get down and actually see the reality of things. But also, like I hate one big things I hate is kind of people in the diaspora going back as like the saviors. Like, don't go back and be like, I'm the savior, I'm going to save you. Just go back there and just kind of live the reality with them.
I think you're
then,
absolutely right on
and
that.
then you get to see how you can then support. They may not want you to come in and spend loads of money for them. They may just want you to just come and just spend some time with them and just know what you actually the real reason you're going there for.
Yeah.
Don't just go for the savior complex of posting on social media, because that also is annoying.
It is definitely annoying. I'm not gonna lie, because I looked at this young man. I completely forgot to put his name down, but I looked at his video that he posted when it comes to say I was a humanitarian, a world humanitarian, but I regretted it. So I'm like, oh wow. How can someone who, travel from one corner to the other, a place where some people definitely need help, can later on and turn around and say like, hey, I actually hate it. And what he said is that you can't travel from one place to the other, come to this place and just pretend as you are the savior, just the same way what you just said right now. Because at the end of the day, like, those people that they met in the same place, same country, they can do the work as well. But why would me, like someone who lives so far, spend so much money, and knowing that those people can actually help too?
Yeah.
And so, have you ever come to the place to say, I hate this?
No.
Or I regret being a humanitarian?
No, I've never got to the point I regret, because I also believe that the work that I do is actually making a real change, and I'm not just doing it for I'm coming in and throw them loads and loads of gift and then disappear, and then after like the left, we kind of that's part of the reason at Revive Congo we go back and we also teach them to kind of educate them as well, so then they know us how to also look after themselves.
I think that was definitely the key of what he said as well.
That's the key, because a lot of people, for example, like somebody will go and build like a well for somebody, but not teach him how to fix it if it breaks. So once it's broken, the back is square.
Exactly.
So those little things that we have to be mindful and be careful for, and that's what I also am careful for. So once I go back, we support a lot of the young children through education. So the four of them, our education is going to be sorted until they go to university. So we know that come university, they will have the good education and the private school education as well. So once they get that done, they will have good education, then be able to move on forward. So that's how the process is going. We're not just going and showering them with gifts, because
it's not going to help them.
Short-term mentality where you have to think long-term. So that's why I don't hate it at all. And I work with one of the best teams I could work with as well. Like that do want to make change. I also work with Lobiko Yakongo as well, which is Oceline.
Oh yeah, Oceline.
Yeah, and me and Oceline became quite close as well. So also looking at the HIV and also AIDS side of things, and also see the work that she's doing, we can see that they're very long term and making real impact and changes as well.
Yeah. And what I liked as well, from our president, Felix Tshisekedi, trying to really lift up that code when it comes to the education of the children.
Absolutely.
It's true here in La Diaspora, like most children have their school for free, and what he tried to do is kind of similar as well, but after obviously it needs to be paid, but for the youth, for the young one, basically, is really something that is very, very mandatory. So what about now? Like how is it now that, I mean, we are, since last year March, UK has gone into the pandemic because of all the situation. I mean, it's not nice. How are you coping as a humanitarian? Because like most of the borders are closed. I mean, they're opening and closing, opening or closing.
Primarily as a person, it was difficult. The first round of lockdown was hard. Like at first it was like, okay, great, this is different. It's like you get a bit of a hype about it. And then once you start getting stuck into it, they're not eating correctly, they're no longer training properly. And I actually did gain quite a lot of weight. So for me, my mental health like completely just drained up until like July last year. I was in a really, really bad place. But then I kind of learned to build myself back out, to love myself as a person again, to then get back up again. So that for me was my biggest challenge. Was first, primarily like to, as it says, that you have to look after yourself first. That charity comes at home first. So I looked after myself first, and I also did lots of my jobs. So I had to rebuild everything from scratch.
That's just mad.
But then looking at the work, like I would have loved to go back to Congo this year. I would have loved to do a lot of fundraising, but within the team, we came up with a £2 a month fundraiser that people can just donate £2 a month, which has done really, really well. I think we've got like 30 to 40 monthly donors, and they range from £2 to some of them are giving like £100. So it's kind of
That's
like
amazing.
So we're still raising money.
So it still continue regardless of the pandemic.
Yeah. So and then also we supported the orphanage quite a lot throughout the pandemic, because of course they've had a hit in Congo as well. So we've been able to then support them a lot more as well. So we still be able to do our work, but hopefully, as long as Boris allows us to travel, I'll be back in Congo in November.
Yeah,
that's my aim.
How do you feel about the vaccine? I mean, if I had to put it out there, because as a humanitarian, you said yourself, you're traveling, you're going there, you're moving forward, and this seems like something that is kind of like it's coming out not out of the blue, but it's like they prepared it now, and so you're wondering, should I get it, should I not? So, the other day, for example, if I may say, there is this a registered nurse who did get the injection 3 days after she caught an illness, and then half of her face was literally dropping, and she made a video out there that, hey, they don't love us, they really don't get it. How do you feel about it? It's
a difficult situation because I have to be careful, because one, I'm speaking as from my own point of view on this, right? Not necessarily like I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything in way, shape or form, and for me, I look at it hardly as it is. My scary thing is how quickly the vaccine's been done. So that for me is my only issue. Like, I've seen so many suspicious things that have been posted on social media, whatever. I genuinely don't care. But for me, it's scary how quickly it's been done. However, I've traveled in Congo, for example. To go to Congo, you have to have yellow fever. And so you know that you have to get some kind of vaccine. So if it comes to a point where you have to get a vaccine to travel, I'll take the vaccine and travel. However, the only thing I'm not okay with is the fact is they're potentially making it mandatory for you to have like a COVID passport so you can go to an event. I actually saw it today. So for me, that's the one I'm just like, hang on, that's draconian, that rule. So let people have the choice to have the vaccine or not. And if it means stopping them from traveling, I could understand that, because you but when it comes to forcing them to have it just to stay within their homes, that for me, I'm not okay with. Will I get the vaccine? Honestly, up until today, I cannot say if I will or not get it. I'm waiting to see what happen in November. And if it comes to points where before I go to Congo, I have to take the vaccine, then so be it. But I'm just scared of putting things within my body that, I definitely, I get you on that one. And my point of view as well, when it comes to the vaccine, I mean, you should have seen my face when I saw the video with the passport, and then it's like, okay, for me to go to the pub, or for me to, even though I don't go, but I go, go to places, I have to have the passport. And what makes it even more also called annoying to see is for the nurses who works in the hospitals, for them to continue to work in that field, they need to get the vaccine. So it's a bit it's draconian, bit forced, but I don't want to say unprecedented, because it's been a year now, so it's not unprecedented. We know what it is now. We know how we're going through it, but it's kind of still like trial and error, and I don't want to be part of the error. That's what I'm scared of. I do not want to be part of the error. I don't want to just my life to be ended by some kind of vaccine. Exactly. I mean, there's so many things being said, but so now towards our last question, as we're going towards the end of the show. It's all about Etincelle, because Etincelle is, it means sparkle, right? Etincelle is a French word, and it means sparkle in English. So, that means that little light. And but multiple lights is just, when it shines in the sky, it really amazes you. It brings that kind of joy. And I feel like a lot of people out there kind of need that Etincelle, because probably right now they're in a situation where it's absolutely blurry, and they can't seem to come out, and they need probably someone to tell them, or to maybe show them the way. So with your journey, right, what was really the dark place where you've ever been, and somehow you got that spark or something? It could be something, could be someone who has really shown you that light, and you came out of it. Can you still remember the place? Can you still remember how it felt, and what was it? I can. about 3 years ago, I was going through a really bad time. Many that knows me knows how much a specific concert that did not go ahead cost me mentally and financially, how much
wow.
it physically destroyed me. And from that as well, I've gone through like a mini breakup with the girl I was with at the time, and it was potentially was also a child within that as well, which may or may not have been. So I was going through quite a lot. I got to a point where I just switched off from the world, and I just wanted to be like, I just wanted to be in my own place. And then I got into a job. I've every year I worked on NCS for 5 years. No, for 13 programs. So a long time. I've done a long time. And then I met this very person at this event. It
Okay.
just made like a whole world completely light up, and I kind of fell in love with her at the same time. And I think she's kind of been my star that literally got me out the rough dark bit. And yeah, she's my partner. She friend zoned me for 2 years, and, and after that she finally did agree to come on a date with me. But I think she kind of like, she made me grow up a lot more mature and actually believe that there is better there.
Yeah, that's amazing that you can actually find someone that is able to take you out of a situation that you are absolutely, I mean, you're going for the worst. And
so many bad things. It's like, how many bad things you have to go through?
Yeah,
wow.
It's like, what's next?
What's
right
next?
So if you look at a screen, and if you could advise someone on probably same situation, like, and just looking back of what you have been through yourself as this young boy, leaving your country, your hometown, your motherland, basically coming in a place where you're absolutely a stranger, but living the journey that you went through. What would you advise someone in that field that's probably going through the same? A young boy, I don't know.
Keep fighting.
Yeah.
Keep fighting. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. You may go through 16 different tunnels, but there is always light at the end of it. And also find the person you can trust upon, and be able to trust them as well. Because for me, once I learned to trust a couple of people and know the actual pure intentions were, and I've been able to move forward. Just trusting yourself as well. Trusting yourself and know that you can do it. And there's a saying that I actually wrote today and said, I posted it in the bedroom. Literally, I wrote and I said, "You got this."
I got
literally,
this.
You got this.
I got this. All right, regardless situation.
Yeah, you got this. Literally,
I like
no matter
that.
what is, you've got this.
Yeah. By the way, can you just tell me where your accent do come from?
Middlesbrough. Well, I've travelled quite a lot, so Middlesbrough was.
I had to ask the question just before we leave, because I'm like, there's something I'm hearing here. But yeah, so it was such a pleasure really to have you.
My pleasure.
Junior, you just enlighten once again Etincelle and so many of those who are watching us tonight. And then so you need to come back. But you need to come back with your team, because I need to see every single one of them. And
I'm sure they will all love to come here.
Definitely.
100%
I like that.
Yeah.
That's really good. So for everyone who watched, you just heard from the man himself, keep on fighting. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel, regardless how many tunnel you need to go through in life. Never give up. And so keep on staying strong, because it is really what is gonna drive you. All right, hold on to that light. So the last word I will say is that with knowledge comes power. With power comes ability to change the industry and the force of good.
Amen.
I saw that. I was like, hey, I need to catch that.
That's
one.
it. I was still that as well.
All right. So we'll see you next week, Friday. Same time. Next week is going to be at 8 p.m. Please do connect yourself, because we need your participation, and you are the real star. You are the real Etincelle that we surely need in this platform right now. Thank you so much for following us on my Facebook, Gracia, Gracia Susuzande, and YouTube, gracia.s, Sucre d'Or. And where can they find you?
I am on Instagram, Junior Masandi.
Yeah.
I'm on Twitter, Junior Masandi. Literally, I want everything Junior
Junior
Masandi.
Masandi.
Just
Just
Junior Masandi.
type it.
Yeah.
Just type it, and then you definitely
find
get
me.
in touch with the man himself. So thank you so much. And just to remind you, Etincelle is also a platform where we try our best to reconnect people with their family. Is there somebody in your family you haven't seen or you haven't spoke to for some time? You know, just write us the letter or whatever it is that you feel in your heart that you could tell this person, but would I even seen this person, or you haven't seen this person in so long. All right, Etincelle is here for you to bring that light within your life as much as we can. All right, and if you feel like, hey, you want to come on the show, just DM me on my page of Gracia, and also on my Instagram, I am gracia.sukador. Thank you so much again. Have a beautiful night, and thank you so much again, Junior.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, see you soon.
See ya.
Take care. Bye.